In 2019, a single sneaker sold at auction for $437,500. Only 12 pairs like it were ever made. Not a diamond-covered special edition. Not a celebrity collab. Just an ugly prototype called the Moon Shoe, its sole pattern copied straight from a kitchen appliance. To make it, one man destroyed his wife's waffle iron. By accident, he invented the design that would define an entire industry. But here's what they leave out of the highlight reel. That same shoe, the one that made Nike legendary, nearly bankrupted the company before the world ever learned its name. Rewind to 1962. Phil Knight is a grad student with a thesis nobody takes seriously. Cheap Japanese running shoes could dethrone the German giants, Adidas and Puma, who owned the entire sport. He flies to Japan, walks into a company called Onitsuka Tiger, and lies straight to their faces, claiming he represents an American distributor called Blue Ribbon Sports. It doesn't exist yet. He's inventing it in real time. For years, Knight sells these imported shoes out of the trunk of his car at track meets, splitting profits with his old college coach, Bill Bowerman, a man so obsessed with speed he'd tear shoes apart just to rebuild them better. Then, in 1971, disaster. Onitsuka Tiger discovers Knight has been quietly planning his own shoe line behind their backs, and cuts him off completely. No warning. No shoes to sell. Just like that, Knight's entire business is gone. He has weeks to invent a replacement from scratch. That same year, Bowerman looks at his wife's waffle iron and sees something nobody else does. A grid. A grip pattern no running shoe had ever tried. He pours liquid rubber straight inside it. The rubber hardens and fuses to the metal. He has to chisel the iron apart just to free his creation. The iron is destroyed. In his hands, the soul that will save the company and eventually make Nike a household name. By 1972, the company has a new name, Nike, and a logo bought from a design student for $35. 2 years later, Bowerman's invention becomes a real mass-produced shoe, the Nike Waffle trainer. It sells and sells and sells. It becomes the best-selling training shoe in America. And that's exactly when everything nearly collapses. Here's the trap nobody saw coming. Every pair sold meant Nike owed money for the next shipment before the last one had even left the factory. Success wasn't bringing in cash, it was draining it, faster than the company could replace it. Knight had personally signed for loans he couldn't repay if the bank ever called them in. His house, his savings, all of it exposed. Behind the scenes, employees were literally racing checks to the bank, timing deposits down to the hour, praying the money cleared before the company's own payments bounced. One bad Tuesday could have ended everything. By the mid-70s, Nike's own bank got nervous. The company was growing faster than the money in its accounts could handle. One pulled credit line, just one, and Nike, the same company whose shoes were flying off shelves nationwide, would collapse under the weight of its own success. The shoe that made Nike's name was the very same shoe that almost destroyed it. Knight refused to fold. He restructured the debt. He found a Japanese trading firm willing to bet on him when American banks wouldn't. And he kept manufacturing at full speed anyway, betting the entire company that if he could just outrun the debt, the growth would eventually catch up to it. In 1980, Nike went public. Phil Knight became a millionaire overnight. The company that had nearly drowned in its own success was suddenly worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Today, that ruined waffle iron sits behind glass in a company archive, the accidental blueprint for one of the most valuable brands on earth. That near-death experience never left the company's DNA. It's the same appetite for risk that years later made Nike bet everything on an unproven rookie named Michael Jordan when every other brand said no. So next time someone calls overnight success the dream, remember this: Nike almost died from it. Too much growth, too fast, with too little cash nearly killed the company before the world ever fell in love with the swoosh. In an industry where growing too fast can kill a brand just as easily as growing too slow, the real question isn't how Nike survived being killed by its own shoe. It's how many other brands out there never got the chance to. Subscribe now, because next time we expose the empire that makes billions convincing you that you're broke.